So unless you've been living under a rock, everyone knows that Taylor Swift is a huge phenomenon right now. So now we have Jack Sweeney, this individual who's making her private jet routes accessible to the public. Now, it's already public information, but now he's dissecting it and making it easily accessible to everyone. I'm not a Swiftie myself, but I know a lot of you are. So here I'm gonna break down whether or not Taylor Swift has a civil case against him and whether or not he could face criminal charges.
Has publicly tracked her jet. The star's legal team says it puts her at risk from stalkers. Janae Norman here with the story. Good morning, Janae.
Stalking is a serious crime, especially in New Jersey. A lot of states have adopted the same type of language in their statutes. Taylor Swift's attorneys are claiming that this could be considered stalking. They have to be a little bit more granular with this because the actual definition of stalking is a criminal definition. So if you look at the criminal definition of stalking, it's if a person knowingly engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to fear his or her safety. So in this situation, he's just posting routes of her travel plans. He's making it easily accessible. But this is still public information. So we have to look at what a reasonable person would think if they look at the facts of this exact situation.
Good morning, Janae.
You guys, good morning. It is so nice to see all of you. They say what this guy is doing is putting the pop star at risk of those who would wish to do her harm. But the attorney for this 21-year-old University of Central Florida student says he's done nothing illegal, using public information and his right to free speech. This morning, a legal battle brewing between superstar Taylor Swift and 21-year-old college student Jack Sweeney, sharing tracking information for Swift's private jet on social media. An attorney for Swift sending Sweeney a cease and desist letter.
So here, Taylor Swift's attorney sent something called a cease and desist letter. Basically, it's a letter saying you need to stop what you're doing immediately, or my next course of action is going to be a lawsuit against you.
Which he then posted on X. Now, the college student firing back, posting a letter from his attorney with the caption, "Look what you made me do."
I mean, it's pretty clever.
In the letter, Sweeney's attorney claiming his client didn't do anything unlawful.
We wanted to really hit home that there is no legal claim here, that this is just public information, and that he's not using.
I love how he's wearing a t-shirt under a blazer.
This is him tracking jets, and there's a purpose. These jets are emitting an insane amount of carbon emissions.
Swift's attorney, however, alleging Sweeney engaged in stalking and harassing behavior.
Let's define what harassing is just so we have some context. A person is guilty of harassment if they make or causes to be made a communication or communications anonymously or at extremely inconvenient hours or in offensively coerced language in a manner likely to cause annoyance or alarm. I really wouldn't have used the word harassment here. He's just posting information that's readily available to the public. This isn't stalking her or harassment. Like, it's just not.
Writing, you essentially provide individuals intent on physically harming her or with nefarious or violent intentions a roadmap to carry out their plans.
So there's an argument to be made here that this information is public information. It's not private information that he's getting on his own. If you have people out there that want to find her or want to track her, they don't need him to do that. He's just making that information easier.
I don't think it's great behavior. I don't applaud this, and I do worry it puts Swift in danger, but I don't see there being a legal remedy.
He's absolutely correct. Obviously, it's not behavior that's normal. He doesn't need to track her. He doesn't need to make it easily accessible to the public. He is making it easier for people who want to stalk her. The other side of this is in a civil matter. Now, God forbid a million times over, if she were to get hurt and the police somehow or the authorities somehow find out that he used Jack Sweeney's website to track her, then there could be civil ramifications for him in a lawsuit. But criminal, I think it's going to be a little bit tough. Morally, I do think it's a bad idea, but listen, we live in the greatest country in the world. We have freedom of speech. He's allowed to do it. You can pretty much post whatever you want within reason, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Swift has repeatedly dealt with stalkers, including a man who was arrested multiple times outside her New York home in January.
And again, I do have to kind of side with Taylor Swift on this. I have friends and I know people that have been stalked, legitimate stalkers. And what that does to somebody, I'm going to use the word tragic because it is tragic. If somebody's stalking you, that is not easy to deal with. So she has dealt with it. I know she's dealt with it on her rise to fame. I know she deals with it today. So I think the last thing she needs is somebody tracking where her jet comes and goes from and making it easily accessible to the public.
And this isn't the first time Sweeney has gotten into hot water for tracking flights. In 2022, his then Twitter account, Elon Jet, was suspended for keeping tabs on Tesla CEO and ex-owner Elon Musk's plane in real time. A spokesperson for Taylor Swift told ABC News earlier this month that we cannot comment on any ongoing police investigation, but can confirm the timing of stalkers suggests a connection.
I mean, that's very crafty language. The timing of the stalkers suggests a connection. Look, obviously somebody's stalking her and going out of their way to find her. There's obviously some problems there with that person. Did they come across Sweeney's website? Probably. If there was actual harm to Taylor Swift, she's got very deep pockets, obviously. Sweeney's a college student. If it were to come down to it, Taylor Swift has enough here to file a lawsuit against him. Being involved in a lawsuit, besides being stressful, is incredibly expensive. So I think eventually, if he pushes this too far, she could get something called injunctive relief.
His posts tell you exactly when and where she would be.
So if she files a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit against him, she could ask for two things. She could ask for damages and she can ask for injunctive relief. Damages is obviously monetarily, so she would be asking him for money, but I think the most important thing she would probably ask for is something called injunctive relief. It's basically getting a court order to get him to stop doing it, to stop posting her whereabouts. And if he does do it, there would be a penalty for that. And some judges even outline what that penalty would be.
So Jack Sweeney now tracks her flights on delay. His attorney tells us this is just another string in an effort by a rich and powerful person to try to silence public criticism and free speech, but definitely a talker, guys.
So I'm going to put my legal opinion aside and just give you my personal opinion here, which is not something I typically do on this channel. Posting somebody's whereabouts, it's not recommended. I understand there's something called free speech. Obviously, I'm the first proponent of free speech. Putting somebody in danger, especially when she's been in danger before and she has legitimate stalkers, even though I don't think he's legitimately stalking her, I don't think he's legitimately harassing her, but it's just unnecessary. I would suggest that he stop doing this type of behavior and not open himself up to a lawsuit from a very rich and powerful person. If you like this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below with more videos you'd like to see me react to.